Good evening, everybody. Hopefully I'll be able to keep my voice tonight. That's always questionable, right? You never know. Give it just a couple of minutes to let the notifications get out there. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Slowly trickling in, huh? It's kind of a earlier time than I normally do, but I don't like missing my friend Lisa Perna's Touched by Prayer broadcast either. So I wanted to make sure I did that in time, early enough time so I didn't miss hers or cut into hers. I like to honor that when I know about it. So say hello once you're on here, because some of them I'm not seeing you pop up here. Hey, Linda. All right. I'm telling you, it is, I don't need to say it. It's kind of, hi, Christy. Kind of preaching, hey, Rana. Kind of preaching to the choir when I say it's been one heck of a week, right? It's been interesting for sure. Faux show, as I like to say. I'm telling you. So, hi, Karen. Hi, Ann. It's definitely been one for the books and across the board. Hi, Carolyn. Hey, Mama Kay. Love you. It's been pretty crazy. Hi, Marilou. I'm just going to take a moment just to say hello. So I'm not all like schizophrenic in my talking. And oh, it has been a very long time, Anne. How have you been? Okay. I'm just going to let her rip now, okay? So just as you feel led. Hi, Vicki. Share as you feel led. And let's just kind of buckle up and let the Lord kind of share what he wants to share tonight. I'm kind of approaching this with some holy fear and intrepidation. It's been pretty heavy on me. And I was kind of joking with the Lord today because I'm like, man, the last one you gave me wasn't exactly great either. Like, what are you doing to me? But it's important, you know, it's more iron sharpening, you know, and we need that in that hour, and we need each other in this hour. And if he's asked me to be a part of that, it's my honor. So, my honor and my privilege, right? Hey, everybody. So yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, right? Or at least a week. Has it been a couple? No, it's only been 1 week. Oh, Lord. This week's felt like a month. Anyway, the last couple of, well, I guess earlier this week, you know, he had me, he gave me that word, about the King's Gambit, and I'm going to kind of dive into that a little bit. But the last couple of nights have been, very intense, and I've talked to a lot of, other, prophetic people, intercessor people, and, just everybody I've talked to, they've been like, it's been intense, you know, like either really intense dreams or intense like during the day. But the last 2 nights, I literally woken up going, did I even sleep? Did I sleep last night? I don't know, because, you know, it's like my spirit was just like, you know, we've been at war. We've been at war. And, you know, I've said it at least once, if not a ton of times. You know, we know that, you know, we don't war against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities, right? So we don't war against flesh and blood here on this earth, but we war for it in the spirit, because that is the ultimate battle, right? That's what we're warring for. We're warring for people. We're warring for humanity and justice and all of this stuff, and you know, but we war for all of that in the spirit. And yes, we definitely are. And you know, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think but we're just beginning. We really are just starting. And it's, if you're tired and worn out, sit back and have a moment of rest and inhale and exhale, and then get some new gloves and strap them on, because we are not done yet. And, and just understand when I say that from a place of victory. We battle from a place of victory, right? We're not defeated. We're not beat down. We get exhausted, yeah, but we win. We win, okay? So I wanted to just kind of start with that, just understanding that we are all kind of in this place of just intensity. And I think, it's kind of feeling a lot like the last broadcast, just speaking of refreshing over you guys. I think we've all kind of hit this heightened place with our thoughts, with our emotions. We've been warring so much in the spirit and in our intercession, that travailing and all these things, just all this upheaval and chaos, right? And we do tend to feel kind of worn down a bit, but I'm here to say that this refreshing is coming. There is a fresh anointing hitting us, a new boldness and a strength that's hitting us. Hey, Mama Lisa. A new boldness and strength that's hitting us. And I wanted to really just encourage you in this hour. I know there's been a lot of questions, a lot of ping-ponging. Just going to say it. It's almost giving me whiplash. A lot of ping-ponging on social medias from a lot of voices. And honestly, can I just say, when that happens and you're feeling overwhelmed, just shut it down. Just shut it down, shut it out, and like, okay, Lord, what are you saying? Because, that's the one that we need to listen to, right? That's the voice that we are hearing. It's not anyone else out there, right? And I wanted to just say, I'm on the broadcast, sweetheart. You're going to have to wait. Okay. Welcome to my real life. Malaya, you're going to have to go into the restroom, honey. I can't. I'm on a broadcast. Real life. What can I say? What can I say? Anyway, Malaya. Okay, you're going to have to get one in the bathroom. Oh my goodness. I'm on a live broadcast, sweetheart. I can't help you right now. Breathe. Keeping it really real. Really raw and real on my broadcast. Here we go. Welcome to my life. That was my youngest. So yes. Ain't no fake pictures getting painted here, that's for sure. Anyway, that is for sure, Joy. That is absolutely for sure. And that is why I'm giggling. That's why I'm laughing. Because it is just, it's real life. Where was I? That squirrel might have derailed me a little bit. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Oh yeah. Sitting back into the quiet, refreshing, and catching a hold of his voice and his heartbeat again, because here's what he's having us do, right? He's having us declare a thing. He's having us speak things out. And I think what we're seeing right now with this, what I call this ping-ponging, this whiplash, this what I would call shaky leg syndrome, of, speaking something, then backpedaling, speaking something, backpedaling, whatever it is, shaky leg syndrome. It just goes to show, we're seeing a lot of things revealed right now. And it's not in a way to judge, not at all. We are all on our journey. We all journey differently, and we all are in process. And so, I just wanted to say that, but when the Lord gives us something to speak, We need to stand firm on that thing, right? We need to understand that it's not our name on those words, but the power that he has put within those words. It's his name. It's his power, right? And it's not up to us to fulfill it. It's us to speak it forth. That's us coming into agreement. So when we actually speak, Lord, your will be done here on earth as it is in heaven, then we step back and we let him do his job. We cannot speak something, and then when the wind blows really hard and kind of blows us a little bit, we can't disassemble what he just had us speak with our next sentence because we got blown over a little bit. We got to remember we have to weigh the power that is in the words that he has us speak, and we cannot go around and speaking one thing that he has us speak and then turn around and speak the exact opposite because we feel a certain way or we're seeing something happen in a way that we didn't think was going to happen. And I think we really just need to understand that he's going to have us speak something. We come into an agreement with it, and then we sit back and let him do it. Because my scripture says, we do see in part. We prophesy in part. So can I just be bold enough to say that maybe we only understand in part too? And the parts that we do not see, the parts that we do not understand, that is the awesomeness of our God. We don't have to try to figure out. This is where our faith comes into play. We don't have to try to figure out all of the things that he just had us speak because we know that his hand is in it. So we just speak the part that he gave us. We hold tight to the vision that he gave us with that. So, that's for us to have something tangible so that we can really hold on to it. Like, no, I saw this. I know he spoke this. I know it to be true. I know nothing that's going on right now looks anything like this, but he spoke it. And when he speaks something, he fulfills it. He's not flippant with his words. He spoke us into creation. He spoke everything that we see around us into creation. It was the spoken word of God that gives us everything that we see, touch, and breathe in. It wasn't us. It wasn't us, and it never will be us. So if we can just rest, I know we all like to have that control thing. We all kind of have control issues sometimes. But we have to let him be. Come into an agreement and then let him be. I'm talking about the current situation right now. There have been a lot of prophetic words spoken. All of those prophetic words spoken, a perspective, a small part. They saw in part, they prophesied in part. Then this one saw in part, prophesied in part. And when you put it all together, then we go, wow, God, you're saying the same thing. How can I not trust you? And here's where we've gotten ourselves tripped up. And I think this is where a lot of people have gotten kind of tipped over. They've kind of face planted in the dirt a little bit. Is that they thought what they saw was what was going to be. What they saw in spirit, they then built a box on in this earth of how things were going to unfold, how things were going to manifest. Surely this is how this situation is going to go down, and this is what it's going to look like, and oh, this is going to be freaking awesome. Done it? I did it. I thought for sure. Done deal. On that day, one and done. But in my spirit, I had that thought, but in my spirit, I'm like, there's no way it's going to be that easy. There's too much riding on this in the spirit that's going to, the enemy, if we're looking and warring in spirit, right? The enemy is not going to just relent. The enemy is not going to just wave the white flag. Way too much riding on that. There's way too much riding on it. Can we just be honest here? It is so much more. It's so much bigger. It's so much deeper than just this country's governmental offices and the people within it. It's bigger, it's deeper, it's wider. Remember, we said last time, you know, we are a spirit wrapped in a body, and we need to start functioning that way. So I wanted to kind of touch on that word that the Lord gave me, the King's Gambit. And yeah, we got to stop building boxes of how things are going to unfold, because the minute we do, we then kind of, in a way, come out of agreement with the Lord and what he spoke, because now we're like only giving him this, surely you're going to show up in this path or this path or this path. And what that does is that puts us on a hamster wheel of disappointment, because he's not going to show up. Remember that whole Ephesians 3:20, above and beyond anything I could ever ask, think, or imagine? That's how he functions. He's the God of creation. And what he did yesterday, he won't repeat again. He just does things new all the time. When he says he makes all things new, he makes all things new. He does all things new. He functions new. He speaks new. He breathes new. And yet at the same time, because he's just that awesome, he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if we can just come into a peaceful place in our faith, knowing that our tiny, finite minds will never, ever, ever grasp the fullness of our God. Can we just relax in that instead of like trying to make things happen in our way and in our time and how we see fit? Because the moment you make him a tangible thing, then he's no longer worthy of your worship. Right? So anyway, so back to the King's Gambit word. I am not a chess player. I'm not a chess player at all. And so I hope this isn't like fingernails on a chalkboard for the chess players out there. I have done some studying, but I will just say up front, my knowledge is still very limited. I understand this game is very strategic, and I'm not even going to pretend. Not even going to pretend. But I had seen this show series called The Queen's Gambit, and it was very fascinating, but I don't know if I would recommend it or not. I'm not going to say that, but it was about the chess game, and you know, saw it, didn't think anything of it, and then last week the Lord started talking to me about the King's Gambit, and I'm like, okay, what is that? Like I watched the whole thing. I didn't even know what a gambit was. Like I had to Google it, you know, like dictionary, what's gambit? You know, and then he just started to like really, I left it kind of sitting on the back burner. And then he was like, no, I really want to have this conversation with you, Amy. And so I began to just really dig. And, you know, when you go on that treasure hunt with the Lord, hi everybody. He loves to just really uncover things, right? And so the crux of that word was that he is that master chess player, right? He's the master strategist. And the whole word was just the way he moves, okay? He's very strategic and multi-purposed in everything that he does. Again, back to that, we only see in part, and we just have to trust him to move us, right? We move as he sees fit. And that word was basically saying, you know, he kind of broke down some of the way some of the pieces move. And the queen is one that has no limits on that board. The queen can move however, wherever she wants, right? And what I felt him saying in that word when he gave it to me was the church is his queen on the board. And he's going to move her however and wherever he wants her to move. But we have to be discerning. That is the key word in this hour. We have got to be discerning of his voice and his movements. And we're not going to get it from every voice out there. You know, we've got to listen to his. How does he want me to move in my life in this moment right now? And I know that if I'm doing that, then he's moving the other people that are listening to him as well. And we're all going to move together, right? So as I've kind of been walking through this week, I've just kind of had a lot of questions. I'm just kind of asking him these what if questions, right? And I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I was just kind of sitting and and he just kind of had this question, pop into my mind. What if, let me back up. So in this chess game, again, I hope this isn't fingernails on a chalkboard for my chess player friends. In the chess game, there is a starting move for the person that starts the game. There's a move called the Queen's Gambit. Again, limited knowledge. I'm going to try to explain this from what I read. The Queen's Gambit basically is this opening move where the initial pawn that's put out is put out there kind of in a way to sacrifice, to then push the other person playing the defense to stay in the defense mode. It's like a pressure game where you keep pressuring the other player to remain defensive. And what happens when we get defensive, we get a little panicked and a little erratic, and we start making moves that might be detrimental to the end game. Okay, so this is what I was seeing when he gave me the word. So then this Queen's Gambit, that's the whole opening move. It's an opening move to pressure. Okay, so then this week I had this question of what if, just what if, this is me thinking out loud with you guys too, right? What if, here in the States, what if that opening pawn is the election process? What if this pawn sacrifice, I don't know if I won't like that word, but this pawn used to pressure the other side into making erratic, crazy moves. In this process, this particular pawn, to expose things, to expose the weakness of the defensive side in order to uncover the path to which we're going to win. What if? What if? That would not happen if all of our ideas and thoughts about the prophetic words given about this particular season, about this particular moment, had we gotten our way and how we thought he was going to unfold things, just a clean sweep, one and done, that exposure wouldn't happen. That pressure game wouldn't be there. And the whole thing with this game is that it doesn't unfold with that first move. That first move just gets it going. It all unfolds in the middle of the board, which is why I say we have just begun. This is why the Lord is saying the sound he's listening to with his church is the sound of intercession. It's not our prayers. Our prayers are our words that we speak, like the words I'm speaking now. Our intercession is what we do in the spirit that comes into an agreement with heaven. A lot of times we get our interpretation with that, right? But there are some times we just know. We're just coming into agreement. It don't matter. I don't need to know everything you're having me pray or intercede for, right? So this is what I'm saying. For those of us who do not understand how to strategically play chess the correct way, I kind of understand some parts and some moves, but you'll beat me every time. Can we just let the master chess player unfold his plan? Can we just intercede in agreement and call forth heaven to be made manifest on this earth? That his will really will be done here on earth as it is in heaven, right? That we don't have to know all of the moves because he already does. We just have to be obedient to how he wants us to move, right? And I think if we can just find our peace there, then we don't got to have all the chaos figured out. And we won't be messed up by the chaos either. We won't be blown around by it. We won't be confused by it. We won't be overwhelmed by it. We won't be stressed out about it. We will just be at perfect peace because we know he's got it. Because here we are in our quiet time going, Lord, your will is going to be done on this earth. How is it? However, you've already done it in heaven. We're calling it forth. We're coming into agreement with it. Let it be done. I don't got to know the next move. But what I do know is what I've already seen. The defensive side thought they were winning, and now they've thrown all their chips on the table, chips that they did not even, that people did not know they even had in their pockets. And now we know it is all out on the table. And now we know the pressure has been applied, and now we know we're going to win that game. I am telling you, the word of the Lord is true. He has shared it through his prophets. It is time to stand and come into an agreement with it. Don't do this backpedaling stuff. Don't do this wishy-washy stuff. It's time to stand and go, you know what? I know what God said. I know what it looks like right now, but I don't care. It's not over yet. All right. That was one thing I wanted to say. And just kind of share on that. The other thing, I'm just going to read the scripture because he's had me in Isaiah 40 today. He's had me in Isaiah 40 today, and I'm just going to read a couple of the verses like I did last time. But I highly recommend just diving in and devouring his word. Okay. Dive in and devour his word and let it breathe on you, for you and through you, in this hour, because it is time to be steadfast in him and on his word. We cannot be shaky-legged and cowering in our tents like David's brothers and all the other trained soldiers. We cannot be like that in this hour. Absolutely cannot. All right, so Isaiah 40, I'm going to start off with verse 3. It says, a voice of one calling in the desert, prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight in the wilderness a highway for our God. Every valley shall be raised up, every mountain and hill made low. The rough ground shall become level, the rugged places plain, and the glory of the Lord will be revealed. Revealed. And all mankind together will see it, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. And then I'm going to skip over to verse 10. These are just some of the verses that have just kind of been speaking to me this week. Again, the whole chapter, you can't just skip, I'm just doing this for time's sake. But you have to read things and devour things in context. I think we've spent enough time getting tripped up on scriptures being pulled out of context, right? It's caused a lot of confusion and a lot of heartache. So I just want to say, read it in its fullness and ask the Lord for revelation from him for you as you read it, okay? So, okay, the verse 10. See, the sovereign Lord comes with power, and his arm rules for him. See, his reward is with him, and his recompense accompanies him. And then verses 12 through 15. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, or with the breadth of his hand marked off the heavens? Who has held the dust of the earth in a basket, or weighed the mountains on the scales and the hills in a balance? Who has understood the mind of the Lord, or instructed him as his counselor? Whom did the Lord consult to enlighten him, and who taught him the right way? Who was it that taught him knowledge, or showed him the path of understanding? Surely the nations are like a drop in a bucket. They are regarded as dust on the scales. He weighs the islands as though they were fine dust. Does that give you a picture of how finite we are, and yet the God who created it all, his passionate pursuit and desire is to be with us and for us to come into an agreement with what he has planned in and through each and every one of our lives here in this moment of time for the purpose that he's set upon us in this hour. I know this scripture from Esther's gotten tossed around a lot, but it's so powerful for such a time as this. It's so powerful when you really just let it soak on you, right? That the God that created wants to sit and talk to me. He wants to give me revelation. And the fact that he wants to give me revelation to share with others completely leaves me undone every single time. All right, I'm going to skip to verse 18. I love this. To whom then will you compare God? What image will you compare him to? He's incomparable, right? And then verses 21 through 31. I'll try to read quick, but this was just, it was just too good. So, do you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood since the earth was founded? He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He brings princes to naught and reduces the rulers of this world to nothing. Yeah. Reduces them to nothing. No sooner are they planted, no sooner are they sown, no sooner do they take root in the ground, than he blows on them and they wither, and a whirlwind sweeps them away like chaff. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal, says the Holy One. And then I'm going to go ahead and hop down so I'm not stuck reading all of this the whole time. But let me go down to verse 28. Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. So if you're feeling weak and weary, power and strength are coming to you. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. I'm telling you, he is coming in like a flood. And we are being called to raise the standard, right? And one thing that has really been on me the last few days is, it's been about the church. Again, he's really just been on me, and it's because I feel his love for his church. I feel his love for his bride, for every single one of us to really step up into the fullness that he has for us. He's got big plans for his church, and we've been sleeping at the wheel. And, earlier this year, when all of this junk was beginning to unfold, I kind of made some comments off the cuff, and but I didn't realize I was kind of already seeing what was going to unfold now. I was really hoping and praying that as things came in, that it would go right back out as fast as it did, but it didn't. And, but there was a bigger plan that I only saw in part. But with the church, and everything being closed down, there's just something that's been nagging at me, about the whole essential, non-essential workers, right? And this week it really hit me heavy, that the church was deemed, non-essential. And I'm like talking to the Lord about this, this whole like back and forth conversation. And the problem has been is that the church for many decades, many, many years, even centuries probably, how do I want to say this? The church has lived, spoken, and moved in a way that has opened the door for everyone to believe that they are non-essential. We have been non-essential in this earth for far too long. Emalea, please stop interrupting. Okay, I'll help you when I'm done. Real life. Okay, Emalea, I'll be down in a minute. God bless my daughter. Anyway, we have been living and walking, speaking, talking as non-essential church. And this is really where a massive contrast was drawn for me this week. It more or less confirmed a lot of things that I was already, feeling, a lot of things I was already seeing, but I hadn't really said anything about it, right? I'm just like, I'm not speaking it because I really try my hardest to weigh my words. I really do. I'm not perfect at it. Nobody is, but I try my hardest. And, but this was just something I just immediately just felt the Lord just like, now is the time I want you to speak about it, that the church has been non-essential. Jesus and his disciples were essential. They would have been deemed essential church if they were here right now. If we were actually walking, talking, and living the way Jesus and his disciples walked, talked, and lived, we would have been deemed essential because the world, the country would have seen us as an absolute necessity, an answer to the problems that have been unfolding, instead of deeming us non-essential, locking the doors and shutting us up. Jesus and his disciples were so essential that people were breaking rules left and right to go having an encounter. I immediately thought about the woman with the issue of blood. Now, if I'm remembering correctly in the teachings that I've listened to, back in that day, in that culture, for a woman, just normal, everyday, monthly thing, they were deemed unclean and they remained in the home during that period of time. This woman had an issue with blood for 12 years. So she was probably known by the whole community as someone that had a major problem, deemed unclean, and was confined to her home. What does she do? She hears Jesus is coming. She's like, hang the rules. I'm out of here. If I can just touch the hem of his garment, something will shift in me. She was willing to endure whatever consequences there were with that law to touch the hem of his garment. Essential. The leper that busted out of the lepers camp. Again, if I remember correctly, that was almost like a prison, right? Like a concentration camp. You were ill, you were contagious, you were trapped there until you died. You don't leave that little leper camp prison area that they had outside the city walls. The minute you were sick, you were cast out and basically locked up. This dude was like, I don't care if they cut my head off. I need an encounter with Jesus. And he busted out of there to go sneak through the crowd and then up through the bushes to encounter Jesus as he was coming down the mountain. I am telling you, we have not been that church for way too long. We have got to start walking, talking, and living in a way that is not this high and mighty country club, but to become essential problem solvers for this world. That is why we've talked about these mountains, the mountains of entertainment, government, you name it. I'm not going to go through all of them. But we were called to be a solution, not a spectator. And it's just kind of really riled me up this week of, well, no wonder. We haven't been essential. So why wouldn't the world deem us as non-essential? We did it to ourselves. We opened the doors wide up to say, yeah, welcome to us. We're doormats. Just go ahead and trample all over us because we have not been living, walking, or talking with the authority and the power that was given to us. We have been these wet noodle people calling ourselves Christians. And I am telling you, there's something the Lord is doing in this moment. And maybe he's using the current, political arena to kick those fires on. But he's doing something because he's wanting to shift. He needs us to shift so that we stop being those cowering soldiers in the tents and be like David and step onto the field ill-equipped and too small by the eyes of other people, and he became the solution to the problem in that moment of time. Am I right? We have got to stop being these wishy-washy, let me pander to your feelings junk. I can't even call it being a Christian. I'm sorry. It's junk. It's worldly crap. We have become like the world, politically correct, don't want to step on toes because the truth might offend. Sorry. But when the truth hit my life, it was pretty darn offensive. I got my panties all up in a bunch. I'm sorry. It's just, we have got to just let the rubber hit the road. I am so done with the wimpy, wishy-washy, pandering, don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We can walk forward bold and in truth, and it be covered in love. It can happen. It can be done. I mean, shoot, the Lord took this rough and tumble mouth of a problem, and I can still be bold and speak it out of love. You guys know me well enough now. I'm not out to lynch anybody or call anybody out or throw anybody under the bus. This is what the Lord is needing us to be. He's called us his bride. We are his kids. Yeah, but we got to stop acting like a bunch of freaking toddlers. It's time to grow up. It's time to suit up. And it's time to fight. We have got to battle. We cannot sit back and wait for somebody else to do it. Because I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who have had the microphone for a very long time, and you're seeing the shaky leg syndrome right now. You are seeing it. I know you're seeing it. You're seeing this. Oh, I don't know. Ain't time for that. Either you know what the Lord gave you to speak, or you didn't. And if you're unsure, get off the stage. Put down the microphone and go get healed. Go talk to God. Go do what you got to do to finish up your process so your legs can be strengthened, because you've got to have strong legs in this hour. You've got to know the weapon of the moment that the Lord is putting in your hand, because yesterday's weapons are not going to work. Today's weapons are the only ones that have the anointing to take out the giants that he's having us face in this hour. Because yesterday's giants, they're already dead. So quit trying to kill today's giants with yesterday's weapons. I'm telling you, yeah, David knocked down Goliath with that stone, but then he walked over there and he took Goliath's sword and he cut off the head. New weapon. I'm telling you, there is something powerful that the Lord is wanting to do with his bride, but it's time we rip the scales off and stiffen up our backs. We can be loving and kind and accepting and all of these things. But I'm telling you, it is a time where we have to speak the truth no matter what. I'm sorry if I speak the truth and you get all butthurt over something. Know that I'm saying it in love. I might be kicking some of your religious cows right now, but they don't belong in that field. I am telling you, the Lord needs us standing. He needs us battling. I mean, shoot. People in the natural need us standing strong in this hour. We need to know the word of the Lord. We need to understand the power and the authority that we've been given in this moment to speak forth and to wield. We cannot be pandering to the people's voices and wishes. You get your yes men around you, they'll yes you right off your cliff. I'm not going to let you do that. I'll be the one sitting there telling you, you acting a fool. You need to straighten up. You need to go talk to the Lord. You need to get your facts right. I say that to myself all the time. All right, Lord, what do I need to learn so I don't go off in some crazy path that you don't have for me? I'm telling you, when he says the path is narrow, that's what he means. It is narrow. There's no room. There's no wiggle room. We don't get to build, shoulders on the sides of the roads for emergencies only. That's what his arm is there for us to hold on to. That's what his word is there for us to hold on to. That's why he's speaking to us so loud and so clear right now, for us to hold on to. Because everything around us right now is screaming the opposite of what he is saying. And right now is that line in the sand, that Grand Canyon of a moment. Are you going to believe the word of the Lord, and are you going to stand on it? Or are you going to go wishy-washy with every wind that comes? Every time the enemy makes a move, are you going to let him knock you over? Are you going to make him question the next move that the Lord already told you to take? These are faith steps, faith moments where we have got to stand strong and know that he is handling everything. We can fully rest and be warriors at the same time. That's just how awesome God is, and how he covers us and how he keeps us. He sees our hearts. He hears our spirits. Yeah, our mind might be cluttered. Our mouths sometimes might just be processing our emotions. But when our spirits are saying, Lord, keep me straight, keep me right, keep me standing strong, keep me mounted in your truth. Yeah, my mind's going a million miles a minute, but I know you're not going to let me go, because my spirit is saying, hold me. And he's got you. He has so got you. Whew. I don't know where to go from there. I don't know where to go from there. Oh my gosh. I knew we all needed to hear it. I needed to hear it. I needed that sharpening. That reminder that, back to that word about the symphony he's listening to is us in our intercession. The cacophony of the world, all the clanging gongs and the cymbals, that 1 Corinthians 13 talks about. I know that's kind of the chapter about love, but it's also talking about, like our words. Let's not be clanging gongs and cymbals. Let's be a voice of intercession. Let's be that voice of, I'm here to be a solution to the problem. We are called to heal the sick, the brokenhearted, to speak peace into the storm. We have got to stop being and behaving and walking like non-essential worldly employees. We were supposed to be essential solutions to every problem. And had we been functioning as an essential solution to every problem on this earth, the churches that were buildings before they got shut would have been overflowing, because people would have been like, I can go there. They will heal my sickness. There never would have been a pandemic if the church was being essential. It never would have spread, because people that were sick would have shown up and said, heal us. Done. And I'm telling you, that's the authority and the power that we have to walk in this hour. To speak things as they are, even though they may not be just yet. We know the word of the Lord. He is speaking so loud and so clear right now. But we have to stand firm on his word. Not in our ability to fulfill it, but knowing that he will. Telling you, this is such a strategic moment in time. It is now. Yes, Karina, absolutely. It is now. We are the kingdom of heaven established here on this earth. Speak it forth. He will fulfill it. Do you not see? Do you not hear? I'm seeing play out before us the intercession of his church. Do you not see it? I see it fully. I see the doubt and the fear that has swept the nations. And yet I'm sitting here going, do you not see it? They've laid their hand out for all to see. And now we're moving in. I am telling you. And this is what, we're only seeing in part. That's the awesome thing. I find that awesome, that I only see in part. I'm glad I only see in part. Because if I saw it all, I'd be overwhelmed. My mind would explode. I wouldn't know how to function. So I love only seeing a part, because that's what we get to speak forth. That's what we get to hold on. That's what builds our faith. But the parts that are unseen, that's where we know where his hand is moving the most. Right? So the things that you don't see, trust that he is moving. Trust that he is shifting. He is so, I don't want to say he's busy, because he's always working. He's always moving, right? But he is so on the scene right now. We're not in a place of time where we're speaking something and then we're just going to sit and twiddle our thumbs and wait for it to happen. We're literally in a moment of time right now where we are speaking things and it's happening. We're speaking something and it's being uncovered. We're speaking something and there it is. He's in this massive multiplying manifestation of things right now. I'm seeing prayers prayed years ago, prophetic words spoken years ago. They're being fulfilled right now. Seriously. He is moving and he's moving fast. And it's freaking amazing. I love it. It's so exciting. Like, that's been my spirit has just been like busting at the seams, excited, because I'm seeing his hand move in it all. I'm not looking at the natural stuff. That stuff will wear you out in like 5 minutes. That natural stuff, phew, shoot me now, right? We got to look at what's going on in the spirit, and that is where the victory is, and that is where we're rejoicing, because I'm seeing what is in spirit. I'm seeing it manifest in the natural. It's going to look a mess in the natural, but that mess is suddenly going to look really beautiful. I don't know how, but I know he's fulfilling it. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's gonna. That's that trust. I don't have to worry about doing anything. I just have to keep stepping forward and moving forward in the obedient things that he's asking me to say and do. And when we all do it together, what a mighty army we become. Right? Okay. I'm just going to pray, and then we will close this out. I think there's more than enough for y'all to like sit and soak on and talk to the Lord about, because, you know, what he speaks through one person, there's something in there for you on an individual basis. You know, so you take that and talk with him about that. Like, what was in there for me? That was the whole what if thing. You know, a lot of those questions, I'm like, Lord, I always like, what do I need to learn? You know, what other fleshly thing needs to be cut off of me, cut away, you know, whatever. Purify me more, Lord. You know, I don't want my flesh getting in the way of what he has planned. And so, yeah, I mean, you just got to be really real in this hour. Because if you're going to stand firm and strong without that shaky leg syndrome, you know you got to get rid of some flesh. You know, you got to get rid of that whole, you know, people pleasing thing. You got to get rid of that whole, you know, thinking that because you may have people that, you know, you're speaking into or over, or, you know, if you have a stage or whatever that platform may be, there's no obligation for you to say anything in this moment. Only if the Lord gives you something to say. And that's why I say what I say. I don't schedule regular things because he's not having me speak regularly. Some people are. And that's what they're called to do. But some people don't. And I think sometimes people get in this mentality of, oh, I have this platform. I must speak about current stuff. I need to speak something now. And sometimes the Lord ain't saying that. You know, sometimes he's saying, just sit and watch. Sit in the quiet and watch. You know, you can't be fearful of the quiet. We already talked about that. I'm not going to repeat myself. You gotta be good at the quiet. Gotta be good at the quiet with that one-on-one time. Because it's not about living out there loud and proud. It's the quiet. That's where you're going to get the strengthening. That's where you're going to get equipped with the armor and the weapon that the Lord has for you for this moment. That's right. That's right, Kimberly. That's where it all happens. It doesn't come from Saul or anyone else in your life. Saul doesn't get to equip you. Only God. You know, God's going to take you down by that quiet brook. Say, this is the weapon for this moment. Right? All right. Heavenly Father, thank you for this time. I thank you for this moment with my friends. I thank you for the refreshing that you're bringing them in this hour. And I thank you for the strengthening and the clarity that you are bringing to them. I thank you that you are giving them the weapons for the warfare in this hour. That we know your will be done because we have come into an agreement with you. We have spoken it out so that your word does not return to you void. And we just praise you. We just praise you. And we thank you for the victory in our own personal battles, in our own personal lives, and all the ones being played out in the scene, worldwide, that we are a part of that victory. I just thank you for this family. I thank you that you've knit us all together, that we really are coming into this one body, your bride, your remnant, calling forth your will in this hour. I just bless my friends in your name, Jesus. Amen. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for spending your time with me, and hope I didn't overwhelm you too much. But I love you guys and bless you. And I'm sure I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.